I will make you fishers of men. Come with me and be my friends. Listen to my truth, hear my word, take it to the ends of the earth.
I think it was the summer of 2001. I was in Augusta, Georgia, working for a baseball team, and I was doing my dream job. I was working in professional baseball, and I was excited. I'd gotten out of Syracuse, started to see the larger country, and before I knew it, happiness was there, but fulfillment was lacking. God started to call me, and I got the courage to respond. Slowly, of course, but over time it really began to be something that looked like I was made to do. The more I thought about it, the more I prayed about it, the more I felt this was something that could fill up what was lacking in my heart. And courage is the right word to use, because I was absolutely afraid. I was scared of what society would think. I was scared of what my friends, especially those from college, when faith was on the back burner. I was scared what people had expectations for me would think. And somehow, God broke through all that fear and anxiety and kept calling. There's so many. It's difficult to pin just one experience. But I'd have to say ordination is really the pinnacle. Just laying there on the floor of the cathedral, listening to everybody pray for me, asking for the Holy Spirit to be poured out, and just experiencing everything that comes with ordination. The great joy, the excitement, and the sense of responsibility that God has handed over to me. So, if one experience so far in my first year of priesthood has been the most exciting, the most memorable, has to be ordination. That too is a tough one, because it's not just one of these happily ever after stories. It's not once you get down on that floor, or when you say the yes and the I do's to the bishop, these questions, that everything just goes hunky-dory. In fact, it's when the challenge and the task and the journey really begin. Getting to know people in a parish, their needs, their struggles, and being able to be the presence of God in the midst of death, of suffering, of confusion, of anger, and being able to just be that presence, to be steadfast. I think in general that is really what's been the most difficult. I would definitely recall the words of John Paul II, beginning at his pontificate: do not be afraid. I think in a world where image matters, in a world where unless you follow popular culture, that you're seen as different in a bad sense, that you're ostracized, that you're archaic, that you're hiding. I think right now God is calling good men to the priesthood. He's asking us to stand up with courage, to serve, to be strong, to preach the gospel, and to do it without wavering. So I think that men really need to pray for courage. God hasn't stopped calling men to the priesthood. We've stopped answering. We fall into that same pattern of Israel. We love you, God, we want you, God, but not quite in this way. The world wants God on its own terms. And if we're going to follow Jesus, we're going to be disciples, and we're going to be priests of Jesus Christ, then we need to stand up with courage and say, yes, Lord, and yes, wherever you want me to go. So I would just tell them to pray for courage, regardless of what vocation they're called to, regardless of where they feel their heart is pulling them, just to pray for the courage to say yes to the vocation that God calls them to.
'Cause I want to make you fishers of men.